Hey guys, I'm just popping on today to talk about something that I've really been struggling with lately, which is how to be a writer when life is just so stinking busy that there's no time to write. In my last video, I said that I was going to try National Novel Writing Month in November. I was going to try to work on my novel every day. That was my goal. It's now November 11 and I haven't worked on my novel a single day this month. I'm working full-time in education at a school. I've been doing research for a professor from my university. I've been doing grading for the same professor, grading of first and second year university essays. I've been editing my pastor's PhD dissertation, which is on a time crunch because it's due really soon, and we've been working on going through the entire paper and breaking everything down, working on citations. It's been really fun. I love these 3 side hustles that I have, but at the same time, I'm like doing them on my breaks at my full-time job at the school. I'm doing them every spare hour I have in the evenings, in the mornings, on the weekends, and it's just at the point where my creative projects they're not happening. I just don't have time to begin and finish the many creative projects that I have on my mind. Because they are on my mind all the time. They follow me everywhere. All the stories and essays and my novel that I want to write, they go with me, and yeah, it's always this little itch in the back of your neck or nagging feeling in the back of your brain, whatever you want to call it, that these things need to be done, and it's just impossible to do them. It's really warm in here. So what I've been thinking about a lot is, how do I take myself seriously as a writer enough to make my creative writing projects more of a priority in my life, to actually make the time to work on them and share them and turn them into something. Yeah, I've been really struggling because when I'm not writing, I feel like I'm not a writer, like I'm a fraud. Why do I say I'm a writer and make videos on YouTube about being a writer when my life is literally too busy for me to write? So something needs to change, and I wrote a bit of a personal essay on this topic, just sharing my struggles and my reflections and my plan of action to learn to take myself seriously as a writer. So in this video, I'm going to share that personal essay, my reflections on learning to take myself seriously as a writer. If this is helpful for you, amazing. I really hope that there's people out there that can relate to this and maybe have tips and advice for me and for everyone else who struggles to make writing or any other creative pursuit a priority in their life when that's really deep down what they want to be doing more than anything. Here goes. I've come to the point in my life where I feel like I must literally write or die. My mind whirls with words and stories from a place outside my everyday life. I cannot find ways to tell them outside of separating myself from the mundane activities and picking up a pen and writing for hours and days and years. It's become clear over the course of my 22 years that my urge to write is not just a fad or childish whim. It has stuck with me until now. I have a university degree and a job, and all I want to do is retire into a hobbit hole and write a tale of some adventure. Every morning as I drive to work, I think about the projects I want to start, and I know that if I do not write, I will be forever condemned by the muses who follow me everywhere, and my life will only be half-lived. If I do not write, I will always consider myself a failure. If I do not write, I will forever be burdened by the fact that I did not do what God made me to do, but instead wasted my 10 talents by not prioritizing their use and cultivation. So I must now find a way to prioritize writing in my daily living. It will not suffice to push it away because there are bills to be paid, the laundry must be done, dinner must be cooked, and friends must come over. That is not to say that the solution to the unanswered call of the pen is to stop paying the bills, to abandon hygiene, to stop eating, or to become a hermit. The challenge is to make time to write by rearranging time spent elsewhere. Truthfully, I believe I can achieve this with some effort. Lack of time isn't really the root cause of my inability to write as I long to. My underlying problem is this. I do not take myself seriously as a writer because I am insecure about my ability to write something truly great, and because I am crippled by the sense that I am an imposter in the literary world. The source of my imposter syndrome is, ironically, the fact that I don't spend as much time writing and reading as I could. It seems now that I have no choice but to take myself seriously as a writer. That is the only way to be one. That is the only way to achieve the dream of holding a copy of my own book in my hands one day. That is the only way to impact the world through literature, through the written story. I must take myself seriously. I must give myself the chance to have a voice and the chance to say something significant. I must create some kind of system to operate in, a system where my efforts to write are legitimate and real, not fantastical. This system will overlap with my ordinary life of responsibilities and work and obligations. These two worlds will coincide, with their great difference being the specificity of the goals of the literary system, which are to write a novel and children's stories and personal essays and more novels. The literary system will be unfamiliar and strange to many, but I will share my life within it with those who see the value in my literary goals and believe in my quality as a writer. My life within the system will look like this: getting up in the wee hours of the morning to write before work, using my work breaks to pen a few lines, dedicating spare evenings and weekend hours to writing, and more than that, forcing some evenings and weekend hours to be spare by declining other plans and setting aside other tasks. I will remind myself constantly that my endeavors to write are worthwhile and valuable and legitimate. I will read inspiring tales of writers and works of fiction that remind me why this is all worth it. I will make efforts to connect with people, whether on the internet or in real life, who share similar creative aspirations and perhaps even imposter syndrome, but who built themselves a system of legitimacy nonetheless. I will take steps to dampen my insecurity by sharing snippets of my work on Substack and YouTube, regardless of the feedback. I will allow my husband and my best friends, those whose love and support I know I can rely on, to read and critique my work. Slowly but surely, day by day, I will labor to form the circumstances in which I can write full-time. I will put my heart and soul into my side hustles in order to one day achieve self-employment so that I can spend most of my time writing and work for money at my own pace. And hopefully, one day, I will publish a successful novel that will help support my family. In my literary system, I will actively pursue these goals. A stranger seeing me on the way to work in the morning will have no idea that this world exists at all, and neither will the majority of people I encounter in my daily life. But gradually, this system will leak out into the real, regular world, and soon I will not live two lives, one visible and one secret, but one life, the life I have dreamed of since I was a child, the life of a writer. All that being said, I have started a Substack. It's called A Midsummer Autumn. I think I have 4 posts up already. They're all free. I'm going to be adding more quite regularly. So if you're interested in my journey as a trying to be a writer, or if you like the things that I've written and shared on YouTube, go check that out. It's totally free. I'd love the support, and I'd love to hear from you guys as well. If you can relate to this video at all, please share. Let me know I'm not alone. I'd love to hear from you. Bye guys.